levels are different.
So
But
constantly achieving, constantly doing something, that's your definition of success.
absolutely, you're constantly striving for the next. You're constantly trying to build. And it's not just about work. We'll speak more as the night goes on. But for me, success is also about your home life as well. But
Yeah.
I'll come on to that. I'll come on to that shortly.
Okay, G, same question. What's your definition of success?
My definition of success changes on a daily basis. So I heard a song today, I haven't heard in a while, but it's the M People song about what have you done today to make you feel proud? And that's one thing where I know I was watching the Gospel Artist of the Year, and she was one of the judges, and then she performed at the end. That's when I actually knew it was her. I was like, oh my God, it's her. So I think for me, as someone that's a bit, I don't want to say airy fairy, but a little bit, keeping my son alive daily, for me, it's a massive success. Like just knowing that he's well and I can still tick that parent box. That's important for me. But then, so that's more like short term. And, just things like, that drink enough water. So it's very basic things that are short term success goals for me. But long term is literally the motto of my life is to live life with no regrets. It's to be able to say, okay, I wasn't a biatch to somebody unnecessarily. I didn't, I wasn't mean to, so I was kind. I was, living my values, because I do try and live my life by values. So for me, that's sort of like success. And I think more importantly, during this pandemic, it's more important to kind of almost bring down what we look at as success, if that makes sense. So, normally before the pandemic, everyone's like, I want to do this, I want to do that. But obviously the pandemic was like, no, you're not going to do that. So you kind of have to, instead of thinking of yourself as a failure, you failed in certain things, you kind of have to then bring it down to, okay, you know what? I brushed my teeth today. I had a shower today. I brushed my hair, just basic things to me. So I think the pandemic has made me, and I'm sure many other people, completely revise their idea of success. But I think it's just knowing that you've lived a life where you've done everything you wanted to do, you didn't faff around, and you tried. Success to me is just knowing that you've gave something your utmost. Doesn't matter what it is, but you gave it everything. So that's my definition of success.
Brilliant. So both you and Tyler are quite similar with your definition of success. Little steps, little things, little achievements. You keep aiming higher and higher. You achieve one, you try another. Jude, what's your definition? I'm going to all of you. What's your definition of success?
I think, good evening, everyone. Those of you watching from far and near, I hope you guys are keeping well. I'm keeping well, trying to. I think Tyler and G's kind of touched on it. I like the way Tyler put it, because that was where I was going anyway. To be successful, success to be in a certain field. You can be successful in every different field, so to speak. So if I set out to become an actor, whether I was on TV or doing theater work, that's a success in itself, because I've achieved that which I wanted to achieve. So it's different. If my goal was from day one was to be on the big screen, to be rolling with the Hollywood guys, and I end up doing theater work in Pelham, then that won't be success, because the back of my head I still think I want to be rolling with Denzel Washington and the others. But I think setting out achievable goals, measurable goals, those SMART goals, like I want to be an actor first and foremost. Going through that training and coming out of it as a certified actor. I don't know what certification they give them, what guilds they come out from, but just going out of that and becoming a certified actor, whether you go to Camberwell Art School, that is success in itself. Every other thing then follows, it becomes added to it. So what I like about what G said was using the pandemic as an exemplar, because what people do and what humans do, I've been one, if people know me from when I was young, I don't do New Year resolutions. I hated it just the same way I hated Santa Claus. I don't believe in those things. I don't like people telling me, what's your New Year goal for this year? What's your New Year resolution? I'm like, come on, for Christ's sake. It was only Friday yesterday and Saturday today. So what's
exactly.
changed?
It's just
so I don't follow those things. So people got caught up with the whole, pandemic is taking a year out of us. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You're setting yourself up to fail again. Don't do that. For me, I set up goals that are very achievable and measurable and smart. And I go achieve them. I'm like, successful. I don't have to be rich, but I've got it.
That didn't let the pandemic hold them back. They saw it as, okay, yes, we're going through these lockdowns. We've got this pandemic going on, but we still need to set our goals. We still need to aim for something. I think that's just in life. We've always got something that we're aiming towards. But G spoke about little things, especially during this pandemic, the brushing the teeth, getting ready, doing this, doing that, the little goals that we achieve. And I count that to be success habits. So I don't know, do any of you have success habits, the little things that you do, whether it's daily or weekly or monthly, that you put in place to help you with achieving? For me, I'm currently little things like planning for my lessons, or just to ensure that I'm ready to go and deliver in class. And then if I'm planning for the next, I don't know, course I'm going for, I do little things to build towards that success. Tyler, is there anything you do?
Yeah, for me, again, there's a number of things. I'd firstly talk about my photography business that I own. During obviously the pandemic, I couldn't work as much, but still I was learning, I kind of edit and I film stuff as well. So every single day I was learning a different thing on my editing suite that I've got, learning a new system, learning how to do this, learning how to do that. So at the end of the day, even when you feel stagnant and you're at home and you can't go out, if you're constantly learning, when the time comes for me to then step out, that is the success comes from all the learning I've done whilst being inside. So I think there's no excuse. There's no excuse to not be learning, watching tutorials on YouTube. There's many hours of videos you can be watching and learning every single day, so that when you step out, you're ready to build on that success. And that's what I've been doing personally. It's really helped.
Okay, G, I know you spoke about in regards to success goals.
I completely agree with all Tyler said in terms of like learning. I'm one of those people. I think up to a few years ago, when I finally stopped doing any sort of courses, my friends used to call me a professional student, because even though I started working when I was 18, I was always doing something. I was always learning something. I've learned how to make shoes. I can make you a pair of shoes if you need some from scratch, handmade. I went to learn that twice just to refine my, knowledge and stuff. But also, one thing I've been trying to look into for maybe 10 years is how to pivot from being a chartered accountant into something else. And I thought, you know what? Time is something that before the pandemic, we always said we didn't have enough of. This now you're at home. You pray. Literally, one of my prayers last year was to work more from home, at least 3 days a week. I got that prayer answered. So because I needed more time to do other stuff and learn more things. So what I had to do was to look into, okay, what else can I learn? Because I don't want to just be a bog standard chartered accountant. I might do projects, but I thought, okay, what else can I do with it? Where else can I go with it? So I started looking into that, and I took it very seriously. I got myself a natural career coach, because I knew I couldn't do it by myself. I've been trying for 10 years to do it by myself, and I had to hold my hand up, break out a credit card and say, you know what, I need your help me. And she's been fantastic. So the whole learning and everything, definitely you have to use time. Time is very precious. Time is something that I'm one of those people that I plan everything I'm doing each hour of the day somewhat. Like I had a nap today and it was planned, because I knew if I didn't plan it, I wouldn't get it in. So I'm getting, like you said about planning, I'm getting better at planning. But again, I can't emphasize more about the short-term goals, like just things like drinking enough water in the day. And I'll have an app on my phone that I have to log how much water I'm drinking and things like that. And I mean, every week I try to set myself little challenges that for the week I'm going to do. I mean, next week now I'm going to try and go to bed at a decent time, which I tried it this week. It did not work at all. I was going to bed after midnight. That's what I was doing, but I was busy. I'm always busy in it. So I need to be better with doing that. But yeah, definitely career-wise, if nothing, this pandemic has made people change careers, start businesses, and just think outside the box. So hang on, I can be doing more with my life. I mean, yes, we don't know when we'll come out of the pandemic, but at least by then you would have something you're going to. And the other thing I said to myself, which is a big success thing for me, was don't come out of the pandemic fatter than you went into it. And so far, so good.
You're doing well. I just wanted to acknowledge we do have quite a few people listening in. So just wanted to say to them, please don't forget to hit that bell, click the bell and subscribe to the channel. And at the same time, if you've got any questions for us, or if you want to join in the conversation, the live chat's available, just type it in there. But the one question I wanted to ask, and I'm going to put this to Jude, how do you measure success?
Was that a question for me?
It was, Jude.
Oh yeah. Oh great. I think we've all been talking about how we measure success. For me, like I said, it's about setting those achievable goals, those goals that we call SMART goals. They're short-term, they're timely, they're achievable, they're measurable. Use those words, but you don't want to be setting yourself up to fail. Failure itself is success, you know, in a way. But we know we all don't have same strengths, so I don't want to be advocating that, and people then think, oh, he did say failure is success, and I've failed, and I'm feeling depressed. So yeah, it's setting those small goals. So for me, I always wanted to go university. I didn't have the opportunity to do that in Nigeria. I like studying, and I came over here and went to uni, and I came out with a degree, came out with a first-class degree, and that's to me is a success because I've got that degree, and I continued. But what I became as a result of that degree is a social worker. Am I happy in that role? It's another story for another day, because that's not what I set out to do. I wanted to become a lawyer, but after
that makes a lot of sense.
Why? Why does it make a lot of
all
sense?
this argumentating that you do.
Yeah, I used to watch two people. One of them is still alive, Femi Falana, and may so rest in peace, Dr. Gani Fawemi. I used to follow those people a lot. I used to watch them keenly when I was young. So I wanted to become a lawyer because I liked the way, and this other guy, Ozekome, and I liked the way they spoke, you know. But I was told, you're in England now, you got to pay the bills. You got to do things that are expedient, so to speak. So I ended up doing a degree in social work. It had a bit of law and politics. So the success in that sense is that I got that degree. Yes. Am I happy in what I'm doing? It's a different story.
But isn't that the steps? So you've got the degree in social work, but at the same time, you're going to set the next goal. So, because it sounds like we all sort of are looking, we're working, we're achieving, we're working, we're achieving. So you said it's like, I don't know if you've wiped out the whole being a lawyer. It's never too late. But you
I don't think it's too late at all.
It's
not too late. It's not too late.
What's the next
one?
one?
I hire you if you're a lawyer.
No, it's not too late. I was going to get there. It's not too late. But what I was going to say is it can take time to achieve that goal. But you have to look at your presenting situation. For example, now I'm back in school. I'm doing my master's program, but I'm not doing law. I'm not doing social work. I'm doing international security and global governance, because I thought, okay, terrorism is the deal. If pandemic happened before, I tell you, I'll be in the laboratory learning about bacteria right now. But it was terrorism. Terrorism was the biggest business. So I thought, going forward with all these conflicts everywhere, I need to know more about international security, global governance, and politics. So I set that goal. Then pandemic set in. And I'm thinking again, you know what? I need to go learn about bacteria. I need to be wearing the white coat. So again, it's about you setting those achievable goals and timely goals. You don't want to be a lawyer when lawyers are obsolete. If I was in America, probably law would be paramount because they make so much money, like the famous Kardashian and all of them. But yeah, in England, you have to do what is expedient. You have to pay bills. So I might just say all these fanciful words, and another 5 years, I'm trying to learn how to repair Mercedes-Benz because it's Tesla cars, trying to repair Tesla cars because it's about the bills.
Are you following where the money is?
It's not necessarily where the money is. It is, so to speak, but that's not success in itself. I'm saying in all of this, I'm still not that successful because I'm saying I haven't achieved what I wanted to do. By the time I get to 70, I still have life. Then I go do a PhD or something in law. Then I can say, oh yeah, I achieved it at the end of the day. But what I want people to understand is, you might set out at first to say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. It might change along the line because you don't know tomorrow. You have to do things that are at the time timely. We need help right now in the whole world. We need help with creating vaccines that work, ethical values and all of that. So I might switch from becoming a lawyer and go in the laboratory and wear a white coat so I can understand how to help people better.
I'm fully with you, Jude. My first degree is in forensic science. I wanted to be a forensic scientist. I watched CSI, crime scene investigation. I wanted to be the person that will go and grab the DNA and do the autopsy. So I studied the subjects I needed to do. But once I finished university, I then said, oh, I want to be a chemistry teacher. Then it was like, okay, no, I don't want to teach chemistry. I just want to teach. So I know as years go on and as you get older and start finding yourself and knowing the world, what we count as success changes. Because my parents wanted me to be a doctor. They said we have a doctor, a lawyer, and an engineer.
Yes, so,
they counted all of us out. But each of us had, those were the goals our parents set, but we set our own as we got older. Tyler, how do you measure success?
What Jude was just saying, I very much agree with. And but what's really interesting to me as well is I think we forget about I've got friends that grew up in the countryside and stuff like that, and we forget about the everyday person that just works 9 to 5 in a kind of regular job, if you want to call it. They've got 2 kids, they've got a wife, they've got a husband, they've got a house, they've got a car, they've got their family. That to an extent, that's still success. You know, they're not earning big money in city jobs in London. They may not be driving fancy cars or whatever, but they've still got success. So for me, this is why I think people will put themselves down and think I'm not successful just because of what they're seeing, again, either on social media or on TV or whatever. But I think people need to scrap that mentality. Any of us can be successful. Any of us can be leaders. It's just you have to have some sort of drive inside you. I think you can be working in Tesco, but if you've got that drive and you know you're doing this and you're doing this in order to buy your house, in order to invest in whatever it is, that's still a level of success. So sometimes it doesn't really matter what you do. I think the aim, yes, is to work in something that you love, because then you're successful doing what you love. But again, back to the point that you mentioned earlier, G, raising your child every single day. You know, I can absolutely appreciate that. You know, now we've got a daughter, literally raising her, feeding her, bathing her, clothing her every single day. That is successful as well. So, you know, it's just
like
about
literally when my son sneezes, I have to watch him for 10 minutes straight, like stare at him.
He's okay.
To just and then like he's literally now he can talk. He's like, get off me. Sorry, say that again.
Are we not confusing success for fulfillment and happiness?
No. Because
blurry
that's
lines.
the thing. It's how you interpret success. So for me, like I said before, there's 2 types. There's the short term and there's the long term. So for me, short term is everybody in my household is fine. Everybody's healthy. I'm alive. The first song I played this year to mark my birthday was Sia's I'm Alive very loudly because I'm literally alive. There's no need for any resolution, no need for it. I blasted that thing several times because it made a lot of sense to me. And I did almost lose my voice as well, but still. And I think also, I just wanted to touch on this as well. Social media these days, and I think we spoke about it on our episode about social media, it makes success look like it's overnight. It is not overnight. There's this particular page I follow, it's mainly for women, it's called Albright, but it's about women and success, and it's just building up women in general. And they do this series where they will kind of like in maybe 10 slides or less, show someone's story. And it's amazing how many times all these successful people failed before they got to where they are. But nobody, and for me, that's the bit I want to see. Like if I know someone, I don't think I really have any role models that are celebrities at the minute. I don't think I have any. But I like to, I watched some stuff about Oprah, about when there's this podcast series about her life that I've listened to, and it talks about all the time she's failed and she's done this. And so many other people like that, you just don't know that this is, I mean, if you take the time to look at Jeff Bezos, the guy for Amazon, when you see where he started and what he tried to do, he started out selling books. Like he just wanted someone to sell books. You know, that was it. Apple, Steve Jobs, they fired him from the company he had before he set Apple up. You know, and there's just all these sort of things. And a lot of people just think, okay, success, if I have this money, I'm going to do this. If I have that money, I'm going to do this. And I think also men, no offense, you man them, they're very much money
driven.
Money is I know I've had conversations with my husband in the past where I've said, you know, something not like success, but is money.
I disagree. I disagree with the money aspect.
That's why I said most men. I didn't say all men.
Yeah.
It's the money thing, like how you said about the whole going to do the studying about terrorism, because you said that's where the money is. And then you were saying, like, if you knew there was a pandemic on, you'd have gone to do a lab kind of, study. So
Yeah,
you
I
are
think it's
essence
about power.
following the
It's about
money
power
to a
as
point.
well, because power is currency in the current.
No, because a lot of people believe it's money, power, respect. They believe that's the order it should be in. So chase the money, you get power, respect. I mean, let me not mention the guy on our platform last week about 9 figures, still can't find a woman. Enough said.
I was just about to talk about that. I was just about to say, what do we say in regards to people that have that claim that money is success? So I have £1 million or 10 million, and I'm now successful because I have that amount of money. What do
If
we say?
that's how they define success, that's fine.
Simple.
But don't
That's fine.
expect that to impress me as success. Like,
I mean,
you're rich. Are you happy?
Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. Like, I don't think, if someone's started up their own business and they've turned over, 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever it is, like, I don't think you can turn around and say that's not successful, because it technically is successful. They've made a success of what they've done. But then what is it? It's more than that. Like you said, are they happy? Are they helping people? Have they changed? Have they changed anything?
Have they
Have they
made a
changed someone's
difference
life?
to somebody?
Have
Yeah.
they made a
Okay.
difference? Yeah,
I was when we had this topic, and I was looking around and I was looking for just things to just influence my thought process. I came across a quote, and it's by the managing director of a company, it's a teacher, called Let Institute, Mrs. Aweru, and she wrote that money is not a gift of success. The ability to make money, the capacity to manage money, and the tenacity and intelligence to multiply money are the gift of success. What is your opinion in regards to, so what she's saying is, money is not a gift of success, is what you do with the money, as you were saying.
That's too much. That's too much talk. That's too much talk. They just, people talk too much. They want to sell books. They've arrived at place. They want to sell books. They want to talk. Look, if you want to know about, I don't listen to people like that. Go read the book, The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and all of these billionaires you talk about today, they were all helped. They were pushed to get to one place. Success is not happiness. Don't equate it. Don't confuse it. Happiness is a different ballgame. You can be successful and not be happy. It is legit and it is valid. Great. That guy who set out to earn so much money is successful because he's earned the money. Is he happy? No, it doesn't matter. But
then
he
doesn't that
became.
depend on what your definition of success is?
No, if I make $1 billion today, no, that's exactly what. That's why it's personal. If I make $1 billion today and I choose not to help nobody, it don't matter what I do with my money. I'm successful
but this is
still.
what we're saying, that's your opinion.
So, but we're trying to end it up with happiness.
No. That's your this is again. Let's go back
this woman, this person you just quoted, is our own opinion.
What the woman is saying makes sense to me, because what that woman is doing is what Oprah does. Oprah uses her money.
That's Oprah's opinion. Oprah's opinion is not definition of success.
No. I'm saying
actually,
what definition of success
it's
is
not,
what
and it will never be.
Money.
Everybody cannot be Oprah.
What do you do with the money? What do you do with the money?
It doesn't matter what I do with my money. It's my money.
Yeah,
whether I give it out,
that ain't no success. That's
we're talking.
That's her opinion.
Yeah, but she should have put it on people. Because we're talking to people. I want people to understand that if you wake up, what you said in the beginning, if you wake up in the morning and said, I'm going to try to brush my teeth, that's success. Whether money comes out of it, it doesn't matter. I'm going to try to get out of these pajamas.
Amen.
That's success. It's small things like that. But whether you become Oprah out of brushing your teeth, that's Jara, that's added. The success is in the small goals that you said are achieved. Tyler wanted to become an actor. He went to a school for that. He got training for it. He came out as a certified actor. That's success. Whether Tyler is happy now because he's achieved 6-figure sums and is acted alongside people like Denzel, it's a different thing. Whether he's not fulfilled because he's not gotten the big role he wants, it's a different thing. But the success is already been achieved because he's come out of that school, that rigorous training as an actor. It's simple, and he ends there. Whether he then builds a school in Malawi, doesn't matter. I don't add anything to success. That's just philanthropy.
I think from how you're talking there, that means I differentiate between success and goals.
Yes.
So if Tyler, sorry, Tyler, I know you're in the room talking about you third person or whatever. Your goal was, I'm going to go to the acting school. I'm going to be RADA certified, whatever you people call it. I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. That to me, that's a goal. Like, I didn't want to be an accountant. Like you said, my parents pushed onto me, same with you, the idea of success. My dad also wanted a doctor, this. I wanted to be an architect. My dad told me it was not a legit profession. And being the 17-year-old I was, I believed my dad. So I didn't do architecture, which is what I really wanted to do. But over time, I realized, hang on, I'm doing this accounting thing because I've taken on board my dad's description or definition of success is to be an accountant. And I did it. And you know, you just keep pretending to yourself. So for me, in the end, when I finished my degree and then I went on to carry on the other exams I had to do to be certified, whatever, it was a goal. Like, okay, I'm in it now. Let me finish it. So at least I don't leave half done, sort of. But literally before I even became chartered and certified, I knew this is not for me. This is not success to me. This is just a goal I'm achieving. It didn't bring me any sort of joy whatsoever. It put food on the table. It got me a job, whatever. But for me, I was like, I remember I kept asking myself, what kind of life is this? This is not life. This can't be my life. I can pretend that it's fine, but this isn't it. So for me, there was goals to be achieved and there was success. So being an accountant to me is not success. It's a goal that I achieved.
One of our listeners has put down that success is something you set out to do or not, and you feel that inner happiness and peace about that achievement. So that sort of is what we've been talking about in regards to if it's money you're aiming for, success is, and that's what will make you happy. What are the steps you take to get there? If it's to become an astronaut, what were the steps you took to get there, or what are the steps you take to get there? So
that's currently what my son wants to be as of last week. He wants to be an astronaut. The week before was a firefighter.
What? Can I just add here? What I like what that person wrote. And what Jude was saying just now, I really hear what you're saying, and I feel like you know, you said, example myself, went to the drama school, come out, started acting, have been acting for all these years since then. Therefore, that's success. I think the thing that I think me and you were talking about, G, or alluding to, I think goes into legacy. I think if you get success and then you now decide to do whatever you're doing with it and build a school in Malawi, that then goes into legacy. So I think when I think about success, I'm also kind of thinking about a legacy as well. But like you said, technically you can get success and you keep it for yourself, you make yourself happy. That's allowed.
There's a lot of very quiet millionaires, not saying nothing to nobody, minding their business, living in the same house, like nothing. Like there's no. My husband always says that if we won the lottery, we're not telling anybody.
We could use Boris Johnson.
One of our listeners has put that down in regards to millionaires, that as much as they live in that high life, when they lose big, because that's all they're holding on to is being successful. They've not, for example, we're coming back to that person we had last week, not married, no family. So what do you have to gain, or what do you have to show of your success? So if something was to happen, what takes one little thing was to happen, what do you have to show of your success?
Yeah, whether you fall on your bum or not. If you set out to become a lawyer, you become a lawyer, whether you become a billionaire through that and you misuse your funds and you land on your bum, to me, you're still successful because you achieved to become a lawyer, you became that. The other ones is just by the wayside. Look at Boris Johnson. That man, that's why when people give him sticks, I'm like, you can give him sticks all you want. Our current prime minister is successful because when he was young, he was primed for what he became now. He's been walking towards it. He admired people like Churchill. Although I don't like Churchill, he admired Churchill. This is what he wanted to become. He schemed, he grafted, he lied, he did whatever. He backstabbed, he fell down, he cried. He achieved it. He is successful. He's your prime minister. Whether he's married to 20 women, that don't matter. Whether he ends up on his bum.
He's a baby daddy. He's not married to nobody. He's a baby daddy.
Jeremy Corbyn is not successful because he wanted to become prime minister of this country, no matter how much, despite how
Did
lofty his
he? I
ideas
don't
were.
think he did.
Despite how lofty, that's why he became the Labour leader. If you don't want to become, he wouldn't have become a Labour leader. That's why they become opposition leader. So he did not achieve that. So that's not successful as a Labour leader because he wanted to be the PM. He ended up as an opposition and failed. Boris Johnson is successful. Whether he's married to 20 wives, that's by the wayside. Whether his morals is down there, stinking, by the wayside. Whether he's a liar, by the wayside. He achieved what he wanted to become, our prime minister. That's success.
That's your opinion of Boris Johnson.
That's right.
Yeah, it's my opinion.
Boris Johnson today, do you feel that you are successful? And he turned around and said, well, no, I actually wanted to be a medical doctor.
He's just being political correct. That man desired to be a prime minister all his life. What's he talking about? He's just being political correct, man.
I'm asking you. You say, well, no, I wanted to be a lawyer.
Me?
You know what you were just saying?
Yeah, exactly. I tell you why I changed. I'm not therefore ipso facto, as they say, I am not successful. Because I want that, so that's why I said to our people watching, it's not the end. At the age 70, I can still go and get a training as a paralegal, and then I'll still achieve it. And then I will look back and say, wow, I did achieve it. I'm successful.
So what about the other stuff you would have done in between? That's not success.
But that's what I was saying. The goals you set, great, you set them. Times change. What you said, look, I ask people, go back to when you were a baby. That first word that came out of your mouth when people say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they say, oh, I wanted to be a pilot. I said, that's what you should have done as a grown up. But circumstances, life is real. Life is no fake. You dream, you wake up. You wake up in reality. As much as reality is our enemy, reality is real. I wanted to be that. But a good friend, and his name, coincidentally, is Moses. I do call him my Moses, who drew me out of the slavery in Egypt. That's what I tell him. He sat me and said, guys, sit down here. You end up being a charge and bail lawyer for Nigerians looking for papers in Woolwich. He said, they won't pay you. I have an experience of this. He said, but do this to get up.
Is there something you wanted to add, Tyler?
I was going to say, when you were talking about, say, like Jeremy Corbyn he wanted to become PM, but he didn't, essentially, so that wasn't classed as success. I was going to say, linking it, I'm not a political guy, but linking it into, say,
we don't do politics here, so it's good. Yeah. No politics.
Linking it into the acting world, I'll give you a quick example, right? Everyone knows Idris Elba, right? Everyone knows Idris Elba.
Yeah.
So obviously, when he went to America, he was already working in the UK, right? People think that he went to America and, that was, he got his blow and that was it. No. A quick backstory. So when he went to America for 4 years, he didn't work, right? He was illegally DJing and trying to get money together and da-da-da-da-da. So anyway, when he now got The Wire, right? If everyone knows The Wire, the series, right? He went up for a different part. He went up for a bigger part. He got a smaller part. Yeah. If he had turned around now and been like, I don't want that smaller part. That's not the one I
want. Yeah.
But look, that smaller part that he got is what now pushed him to becoming a superstar that he is.
But it's in the same line though. It's in the same acting. He didn't go become Wire in the supermarket. You see where I'm going with it? So it's in the same field.
It's in the same field, but this is what I'm saying. Exactly. Sometimes you have to take a detour to get your success in terms of what you think is not your path. It can still lead to the success. So this is why I'm just trying to encourage anyone out there that, it's a journey. Like you said, it's not overnight, it's a journey. So where you are right now, you may not be in the job that you want to be in, but stay there. Keep on learning, keep working, because then when the opportunity comes, or, there's a testimony I heard the other day.
You have to be ready,
There's a testimony I heard the other day where someone was hating their job, right? They wanted to move from their job, but something was telling them to just sit down and stay in their job, right?
Yeah.
What happened was they sat down and stayed in their job. Then the person that was above them now left. They then got promoted, which they never would have got because they couldn't have gone somewhere else without that, because it was in-house. They got that promotion. Now they're learning. Now from there, they can now move on to much bigger things. So sometimes you have to stay where you are and you still work on your craft and work on yourself,
Yeah. G, what's the hardest decision you've ever had to make?
In life or with career?
We're talking along the lines of success. So in life, you can take it career, but what's the hardest decision you've ever had to make?
Big question.
And
Man.
everyone's going to answer this. So those of you that are waiting,
Oh God, you're
that is
going
very
to make me go down a route I wasn't planning for. The biggest decision I had to make was saying yes to my husband. For me personally,
Okay.
that's the biggest decision for me, and it was hard. I think making that decision. I'm a Christian, and when I married my husband, I wasn't a Christian then. I didn't have a religion. I had a chat with God every day, you know.
Hey, call it
So
faith, religion.
yes, I was a person of faith. That's what I used to call myself then, actually. I almost became a Buddhist, but I didn't. So I remember I had a lot of conversations about it. And for me, I didn't have any, what do you call it, role model marriages that I could say, okay, I'm going to follow
You
this
like
one, or, you know, there was nothing. And then I had lots and lots of conversations with God about it. And I remember, you know, you just have to make a list of everything you see in a person, and not just now. I'm one of those people that there's no such thing as love is blind. I see things, I see everything.
Yeah,
So
Rich,
I made a list of everything. All, you know, when the cons and the pros, and the pros are just going and going, I said, right, okay, fine. This is not I didn't make a decision lightly, but that
Yeah.
was very, very difficult to make. And it's probably one of the few times I realized I actually don't like making decisions. I don't like making hard decisions at all. I'm one of those people that let's vote, and then majority carries the vote. But obviously I couldn't vote with anybody on that decision. That had to be me, because I knew I had to go and fight my parents about it, because I come from a Muslim family. My dad had said I had to marry a Muslim. So that was so first of all, I had to decide I want this person for myself. Secondly, I had to sort of envision all the pushbacks I was going to get, and I knew it was like a tough ride coming. So I had to find some concrete knickers to put on to just brace myself for it. So that for me, I think it was the hardest decision I've had to make so far.
One of our listeners has actually named it as marriage success. She said, well, I don't even know if it's a she, but she's written a whole piece, but I like the marriage, because that's an example of success. You made that decision, you've got a successful marriage, you're still building upon it, you've got a young son. So that is success, because it's a goal, a goal set at some point, and now you've achieved it, you're now working together to build and build and build.
And I just want to say hi to my husband, he's watching. Hello,
Dave. Always.
But it's not my husband.
Jude, you know he's your biggest fan, so you can say hi to him.
So, Jude, what's the hardest decision you've ever had to make?
Up to this stage, boy, that's I don't know. I guess it comes down to I don't know, man.
Have you made many hard decisions? That's why you can't pick one.
Not really. I think what the struggle is that they didn't really appear to me as if they were hard decisions. Maybe I haven't got to that place yet. Yeah, I think now you just said it, I remember. Actually, I came here as a young man, and England was a big shock to me. Most people will know that. It's not like they don't rape and kill and do all of that stuff in Nigeria, but I came into this country, and because of the media, the way the media does things, everything is on your face. I don't know if you guys remember the Holy Wes and Jessica Chapman, two young girls who were brutally killed by one of their PE teachers or teachers. So that was around the time I came into the country, and the news was big. And for me, it was just 1 week after another week, another rape, another trouble, another killing. So I was really scared. I was really shocked. And I made up my mind at the time that I would never marry and I would never have children. I just thought they were the most horrible things to bring into this world because of my myopic view of the world at the time. I was just looking at London, England. I was really scared of England. I was really scared. If I had the big chance and opportunity, I would have just run out. I at one stage I started thinking Nigeria is better than this place. But upon reflection, and you know, I won't lie, you can't really just go back to Nigeria when your family have kind of invested in you to come abroad and make their lives better. I then realized upon reflection that all of these things, they do happen in Nigeria on a daily. It's just that the media don't magnify it on our faces. So my biggest decision was actually deciding to then hook up with my woman with my wife today and have children. They remind me still, people who know me then said, you said you would never marry. You said you would never have children. So I did not want, I never wanted to. I just thought, I'm just going to live my life, get this money, do my thing, just avoid all of this. Because London was really scary at the time. It is still scary.
That's why I
very,
left.
very scary. So
that is why I left London.
And that's my future biggest decision I'm having to make now. I really don't know where to go. I want to relocate. I told you guys previously. I don't know how to do where to go about it. I'm thinking
just start checking out places. When they allow people to drive around,
just leave the whole of England.
Around.
No, it's probably just leave the whole of England because it is scary. England is a scary place. Trust me.
Canada here is nice.
Well, I'm having to think about it. 20 centimeters or 50 feet snow I have to dig through. So so that's been my decision.
The hardest decision you've made is relocating. So leaving Nigeria, coming here, where London it's a completely different. It's not even just London, the UK. It's completely different to Nigeria. I'm sure I did the same when I was younger. I came to this country when I was 7, but that's still not compared to you because you came a lot older than I was when I came over. But adapting and then getting married, having children, all of those to me, I see that as you've made successful, you've gone through different things that form success in your life. So you've married.
What was your hardest decision, Dee?
I've had loads of hard decisions. If I could write a book, as much as everybody sees this, I can write
it.
And those close to me would say, if I was to ask them, who would they find successful? They probably would say me, because of all the things I've gone through and and the way I live my life. But one thing I would say is, I think I'm successful because of when I look behind, when I look at all the different things I've achieved in regards to coming to this country, studying, going to university. Just like you were saying, any little illness, it hits you, but when it hits you bad. I put my hand up. I remember my friends saying they've never heard of somebody of color getting meningitis and being hospitalized for how many days. Put my hand up. That was me. Everything sort of happens to me. But just overcoming them. And then it's the studying. I've always got something I'm doing. Last year, I completed senior leadership. It's always something to achieve. Whether it's married, and I got married, had my daughter. There's always something. And I'm never sitting still. Never sitting still. There's always something cooking. There's always a plan. And everyone's always looking, what's she doing next? What is she doing next? And I think that's how it should be. I'm happy. I'm not saying I'm not happy where I am.
You're always looking for the next step up. What's the next thing? What's the next thing?
I asked a friend, how do you measure success? And it was actually her husband that got back to me. And her husband said, when reality exceeds dreams. So he's got his dreams, but when reality exceeds them. And I said, so what happens what happens next? He goes, well, the dream keeps growing. So when reality hits that dream just keeps growing. So there's always more that we can achieve. But the hardest decision I've ever had to make, I can only think of the most recent one. And the most recent decision I've had to make is reduce my hours at work. Hardest because financially it hits us as a family, but I've been able to open my eyes to so many other things. Look after my health. Success is another one. Looking after your health, being healthy. That's actually a big one in regards to success. Because if we can live to win 100, you're successful. You've been successful. So I think for me, currently, that's the only one I can think of because I only just made that decision to reduce my hours at work. But I'm going to move over to Tyler. Tyler, what's the hardest decision you've ever had to make?
Well, since everyone's mentioned their partners, I guess I have to go down that road as well.
You don't have to. She won't mind. She just will speak to you for a couple of days.
Exactly. Jokes aside, I think it has to be for me as well, like choosing to propose and then eventually get married. Like I can't, because for me, I'm very much about family and life and enjoyment in life, and then work comes second to me. Even though I love my work is still always second to me. No matter how much success I get via my acting career, the home life and the family life is still more important, no matter what. So I think, yeah, that decision I always knew that I wanted to get married from a young age and have, I grew up with my mum and my stepdad, which was great, but then my dad wasn't around, and he was around, and then I've got, half brothers, sisters and stuff, which is great, but I never wanted that for myself. So for me, success was getting married to one woman, having children, however many children. We decided on 2, but yeah, we've got 1 so far. So, having a family, that one family, and we grow together, and then we stay together, so that when our daughter, and hopefully our future son that I'm praying for, when they're older, they get married, and then we can be sitting there at the top table with them as mum and dad.
Yes. At the
happens, that's success. That's success. If I'm married for the rest of my life, that's success. And it's not easy. Yeah. Marriage is not easy. So
mate,
yeah,
that's another topic. Marriage is not easy, but boy,
marriage is not easy.
We all know, or we're all successful. All of us sitting on this panel, we're all successful. Our opinions on what success is might be, some aspects of it is the same, some aspects might be different. But one thing I'm going to say is, although we are all successful, if you could start all over again and you could change something, what would you do differently? G.
Nice.
Right. I ask myself this question several times a year. So I'd say, first of all, I would I came to this country when I was 16. My dad had registered me to do, I don't know, whatever the subjects are you need to be a doctor. And I remember I looked at them when they put it on the board. I was like, okay, so I went to the deputy headmistress, and I said, I failed all these subjects at GCSE level in Nigeria. So I don't know what results my dad gave you, but I ain't doing them. She goes, fine, you can change it. I said, what? She goes, in this country when you're 16, you can even drop out of school if you want, and you can change it. You can go out, and work.
My daughter's watching this. Don't tell her that.
She'll find out. So for me, I always feel like, instead of just deviating and choosing subjects that would make me into an accountant, which my dad knew nothing about until he saw my results after the first term, that I changed my subjects. And he couldn't argue with me, because I'm like, I don't know what results you gave them. All this 419 business, you brought it here again. But then I was like, so for me, I'm always like, I should have paid more attention to what I wanted to do and pushed for that. But I was just so relieved to have left that country. I won't lie. The relief that went on for years. I think I was maybe in uni. I was like, okay, hang on, I need to be serious. What am I doing? Sort of thing. So for me, I would have gone with my passion, and I would have at least tried. And like I think someone said already, failure itself is a sign of success, because you tried.
Yeah.
I would have at least tried and be able to look back and say, okay, I tried. I wanted to be a professional dancer. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to be a music producer or dancer. Those are the 2 things I've always wanted to do. So I was just like, okay, if ever I could go back. And you know how you see in some magazines, people write letters to their 17-year-old self and things like that. So that's something I'm still planning to do, because then I just want to see what I'd say in there. But yeah, I would definitely be a bit more ballsy. I wasn't as confident as I am now. I was so shy. People thought I was deaf and mute. I know it's hard to believe now, judging by all the yap. But yeah, so I would definitely kind of follow my passions and take opportunities. It was a big opportunity to come here that, yes, I've made a success of it, but I could have done so much more with it. Much more with it. Yeah.
Tyler, you said good question.
Yeah, it's a very good question. I think if I go back to when my teenage years, it's hard for me to say certain things, because it would then involve parents, and I don't want to be like, my parents should have done this in order for me, because that's another conversation. So if I'm talking about from me when I was an adult and I was able enough, I would probably say I wish, if I could go back, I would have started my photography business way before I started it. I started it 2017, the beginning of 2017. I should have started that business in like 2010 or whatever, 2009,
Yeah.
whenever. If I had done then, I would have learned so much more. I would have been that much more successful because I had it in me. I just didn't know that it was something that I could do.
Yeah.
I just needed a bit more guidance, and so yeah, that for me, I would have started that a long time ago. But then again, I could have started it a long time ago and it could have got me in trouble, with various reasons.
But you'd have
who
learned
knows?
from it. You'd have learned something from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
As opposed to not trying at all.
Yeah, failure is a massive part of success, like you're saying.
And fear.
Yeah, fear looks as well.
And Jude, if you could change something?
If I could change anything, trust me, man, I would have loved to be that accomplished poet and just learn how to play guitar a lot and just sing by the mango tree and watch the moon with my lover and just play guitar. And look, I would have loved to really be able to play guitar and sing some of those my lyrics I write, and to a woman, just continue to sing to that person that I love. That was my dream. That was part of all my youthful exuberance, as they say. I wanted that. I still want it, but like you said, reality does set in. Reality is the enemy of dreams, but reality is where we live. So reality says, no, my man, you can't pay bills with learning how to play guitar. That's some hobby. I tell people, your hobby is what you should have done. I like writing. I like poetry. I like music, and I love to play guitar. When I just watch people play that thing, oh my God, I fall in love with them. Like, Jesus Christ, why am I not that guy?
I know, it looks like magic. That's like me when I see people playing the piano. I'm like, wow.
I feel so jealous. It's like, that's what I should be doing. Seriously. Just
have you learned how to play the guitar?
No, reality won't let me. I bought guitar though. I have one. And it's just like a decoration.
Baby steps. Baby
it's
steps,
a decoration,
as they say, it's still a step.
Very good baby steps. It's a decoration. It's there as a decoration of anything.
Baby step is still a step. Oh yeah, it starts now. Go on YouTube,
Wake up an hour early every day.
Exactly.
I know. I could do that, but it's a nice decoration out to the wall for now.
Right, we give you 6 weeks and you need to come back and play us a song, mate.
I'm gonna play a live show.
I'll play Do Re Mi. I can play Do Re Mi. I can play Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do Do. Yeah, so that would have been fulfillment and achievement for me. Trust me. Trust me.
You know what it is? Just a quick one on that. I think with the knowledge we now have in terms of what we would have changed, all this kind of stuff, this is now where we come in as parents to our children in terms of, do they call them Gen Zs? That the Gen Z generation now, they're fearless. They want to be this, they want to be that, they're fearless. So I think we as parents now, when your kids are growing up and they're saying they want to do this and they do that, we just have to encourage them. Many now. So it's like
so far my son has done ballet, he's done anything he expresses before pandemic, obviously. Anything that expresses an interest in, we're going to, let's go. Do I have to wake up early? Yeah, he's done football, he's done whatever he says he wants to do, if not for the pandemic.
I think you're right, Tyler. We have to encourage them, and at the same time, don't shy away from telling them about reality. I was discussing earlier a while ago with someone. I said, my kids, I do tell them about death and dying. I do tell them about, I erased Santa Claus out of their head. I told them Santa was fake and all of that. I had to spell reality out for them. They had to know what reality was. And people say, oh no, they're too young to tell them about death. I'm like, do you know peekaboo? You know peekaboo? Any of you know peekaboo?
Yeah, you mentioned that. I'll look into it later.
The psychology behind that is about, hey, look at me, I'm here, I'm not here. It's about dying, disappearing. So if people out there telling my kids that, I should have that conversation. Life is about chaos and balance. It will happen to anyone.
What age do you think is a good age to be telling your kids about?
Look, there's no good age. You know why I say this? Now with the pandemic, my little boy is 6. I never knew that boy could talk and hold a conversation. I'm looking at him, I'm like, mini me. And I'm really angry at him because he's holding this ground with me. I say one thing, he asks another. I say he asks, I just like, I give up. What sort of trouble is this? And this is me looking at me. So my dear, you think these children don't know what they're doing? They know. From that age of peekaboo, They already know you should be talking to them about that, about reality. I tell my kids, you can achieve anything, but I say success and failure is part of the whole game. If you fail, it just means you're doing something good. And somebody said to me recently, they told me, don't make the same mistake twice. And she said, you know what? I went on to make the same mistake 20 times so I can know not to make it anymore. That's
But
success.
then in regards to art, I think the children themselves need to learn. So as much as we don't want them to fail, they're going to need to learn what failure is in order for them
Of course.
to.
Yes.
But what we need to do is ensure that some of the mistakes we made, they do not make the same. And it's also allowing them to live their dreams and support them with that.
Of course.
My daughter, she loves football. She plays football. And I will take her to her football training. I do say to her, she still needs to study, and because we know that football is not a long-term career, but it's what she finds to be successful. So I support her. But what I'm going to say is the dictionary definition of success is an accomplished, my mind's gone blank there. The dictionary definition of success is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose, which quite a few of our listeners have been putting into the chat. So to continue setting those goals, you need to, when you reach them, and you reach those goals, it's good to aim a little higher. So you've reached the goals, you always aim a little higher. Do something that makes you happy and something that you enjoy. So success is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. And you keep aiming, keep aiming.
I would say
keep aiming.
I would say when you achieve whatever you set out to achieve, please celebrate that win all the time.
I celebrate everything.
If you don't, you won't feel like you're successful.
Celebrate when you win, when you get to that win. And I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you for tuning in to This Is Us. Remember to subscribe by clicking the bell. This is us, and we have arrived.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love that.